it's not so much the nails that are the biggest interest point for this patient. It's actually her very inspiring story about who she is and what she's up to. There are a couple nails that are kind of curved on the edges that we talk about having to remove that edge permanently. We're not going to do it today, but mostly it's just her story that's wonderful. So we're trimming nails and listening to this incredible young woman. So I hope that you enjoy the video.
I'll hopefully do more once I get my master's in May. So
you finish your master's degree?
I'm going to be finishing it in May, and then I'm actually being pushed by my college to get a double master's.
In what?
So my first one is in leadership and advocacy for females with disabilities in urban communities, and then I'm being pushed by the master's in advocacy and political leadership program to finish that program, because I've already taken several.
And through what university? Or?
Metro State.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So you'll be lobbying at the Capitol and?
I don't really wanna. What I would like, I don't really wanna. Wow, that sounds like a 14-year-old answer. I actually found out during this election cycle that people aren't reaching out to those with disabilities about their ability to vote. Like there's one program out there called Rev Up, but other than that, and that's through the ARC, but other than that, nobody is encouraging those with disabilities to vote. So I want to change that.
So that's going to be your focus.
That is going to be my focus. That's going to be my capstone.
Wonderful.
As my professor has already informed me, is going to be happening.
That's going to be your capstone.
Yes. She's like, I'm going to set you up with somebody with the Secretary of State. And I'm like, oh.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's right, that Metro State is right next to the Capitol, isn't it?
It is. It's really close to it, yeah.
So what got you into the whole disability advocacy thing?
Well, I'm autistic, I have ADHD, a eating disorder called ARFID, anxiety, mild depression.
Okay.
And I spent 9 years working at Girl Scout camp, and I saw a need in that place that girls, there's a lot of programs out there for boys with disabilities, I feel like, but there's not as many things for girls. And so my goal is to open a camp my original goal was to open a camp for girls with disabilities. And now I want to start a mentorship program between inner city girls with disabilities, and an adult that shares those passions.
Wow. I can't wait to see where you end up in the next 5 years. I think that's great.
Well, thank you. I'm hopeful that I can make things happen.
Well, it's a very frustrating road, I'm sure.
It can be, but it's also exciting. And being able to learn and be able to use the words in the right way they need to be used is a really powerful thing, which, as somebody who has a doctorate, I'm sure you understand that when your brain starts to do the thing. It's like, it's a transformative experience.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
That's an interesting machine.
It's just like an emery board on steroids.
Oh, that's a cool sensation.
Doing this?
Yes.
Barely even a nail on this little guy.
Yeah, that's how they came out.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna get into the corners here a little bit better.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, this is definitely the best that's ever been done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, give us a good Google review.
Of course. I think this might be the first time I'm professionally having this done, not at a nail shop.
No, we did it a year ago here.
Oh, we did? I must have blanked it out. Then again, I was in a very interesting place this time last year, so.
Not a good place?
Well,
Let's have you come around. So a year ago when we did this, you're not in a great place, huh?
No, I was in eating disorder treatment at the time.
You know, I
believe.
think I do recall that, having that conversation with you.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning process, but it's one of those when you're doing a lot of things, there are things that you lose.
Yeah.
And I don't remember this at all because I wish I would have remembered it.
Well, I think if we can get you on the schedule, you know, every 3 or 4 months,
Okay.
then you won't have to tear at them in the bathtub.
I don't know tattletale.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I mean, everything looks okay. But, I mean, I'm happy to do this, and we can...
Well, and I need to make sure I'm taking care of them because especially with this foot, with the ankle,
Yep.
having had ankle surgery, and it's also felt funky occasionally, so.
Yeah. Now, do these get ingrown quite a bit? Because it looks like the nail is curved down like that.
It does a little bit. It's been a little bit of time, but that has been historically what has happened.
Okay. So our goal would be to keep that from happening, or we can do a procedure here where we just take part of the edge of the nail off. So you still have a nail, but it's just a little bit more narrow.
Oh.
And then you don't have to worry about that edge digging down into the skin.
That
And this
would
one,
be helpful because that gets painful.
yeah, this one's kind of doing the same thing. Are you able to zoom in on that? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see that, let me just show you something here.
Yay, autism feet.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
So the edge of that nail is all the way down here, right there. So it's like curved down 90 degrees.
Yep.
And that's not going to change, and it's not going to get better, and that's just a genetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mom or grandma also had nails that got ingrown on this side.
That would be my grandmother.
Okay.
I've been told many times that I inherited my grandmother's feet.
Okay, well, I hope at least you got her sense of humor too, or
My grandmother
ability
did.
to bake.
My grandmother was actually a secretary for the school district for 36 years.
Wow.
And I'm a special education assistant with the school district.
Well, you have to have a sense of humor to work for the school district.
Yes, we do.
But that would be something, if you wanted, we could just set up at your convenience if this is an ongoing issue. We could do one side on each toe.
Okay.
There's no downtime with that. There is just some soaking that you have to do afterwards.
Okay.
And for young people, that includes you, that's usually for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
My not so young people, they can be soaking for a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I would, I just numb up your toe back here with 2 little sticks,
Okay.
and then you don't have to ever worry about those edges again. So, so you go home that day and elevate your feet, just because nails like to bleed a lot,
Yep.
because there's just so many blood vessels around them. And then, and then after that, you go home with kind of a big bulky bandage on there. But after that, you just take it off after a few hours and just a regular Band-Aid.
Okay.
Okay, so you probably wouldn't want to play soccer the next day, but there's not usually much discomfort at all.
Well, thank goodness I don't play soccer.
Okay, or tennis. But
Thankfully, all I do is bowling, occasionally, and walking to and from work.
Yeah.
Which is about a 7.5 block walk.
yeah, I mean, that would not be an issue. So a little Tylenol or Advil, whatever you take for a headache.
Can I ask a really dumb question really quick?
Sure.
Is there anything I should be doing with this thing?
No.
Okay, thank you. I've had it forever, but I wanted to make sure I asked.
Yeah, the callus comes just because instead of toeing off, are you able? Okay. Instead of toeing off from the front of your toe, you're toeing off from the side of the toe a little bit. So the skin gets pinched between the ground and the bone.
Yeah,
we call that a pinch callus.
Yeah, well, that goes to show when you walk like a penguin.
Right. Exactly. Well, thank you very much for letting us do the video.
Thank you.